Okay, folks, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming to our 2024-25 season of Upward Basketball Coaches Training. Appreciate everybody. This is our 16th year of Upward Basketball. Isn't that amazing? I'm so happy that we've been able to do this for 16 years and have this legacy and to be able to run this program at try to do a level of excellence that helps to minister to children and to be a blessing to families as well. We have 223 basketball players signed up this year. I believe this is our highest number. It's one of them. It's if not our highest number. We have 35 cheerleaders as well, and we have 64 coaches and assistant coaches signed up. So we have a lot of people involved in this ministry. We are so excited. I want to say thank you, first of all, to our coaches. Coaches are very important. It says here, as you coach, you play a vital role in sports ministry. Sports ministry requires that we give our best effort in teaching the sport and caring about people through ministry opportunities. This isn't just an Upward League or just a church league. This is a chance to provide the best youth sports experience in our community and demonstrate the gospel to the families we serve. We believe that. We believe that this is not just a league. This is something different. It's something special. It is a ministry that our church provides. So thank you for partnering with our church as we lead out in this ministry. I want to say a big thank you to all of you coaches, assistant coaches. It takes a lot of time and energy to expend to coach the kids, to be there for practices, to be there for games, and I know it's an investment in them as well. So I just want to say thank you. I want to take a minute to introduce you to our Upward leadership team. You might see me a lot as the face, as the league director. It's a beautiful face, I know, but there are many people behind the scenes that make all of this happen as well. And so we have April Sharp is our assistant director. If you look in the back, she's hiding in the back. Rick Koberstein is our coaches commissioner. He's also there, hiding in the back. Christy Gocher is our cheer commissioner. She's back there as well. John Couts is our referee commissioner, and he is also back there. So we have all of those core people are here tonight. Some ones that aren't here, one of them that's not here, our game day commissioner, Vern Sharp. Another game day commissioner, Kenny Gamblin, is here. Kenny, raise your hand. These are people that you can look to on game days. They're part of the leadership team. They have answers as well, and so they're going to help coordinate some of those things specifically happening on game days. Shirlene Kilgore is our concessions commissioner, and Randy Kilgore, the voice of Upward Basketball, he's our AV tech and our announcer. So we're so thankful that all of these people give extra time. They're here to help manage, and they help set up for the evaluation, help draft the teams, all of these things to make all of this happen. So if you need anything throughout the season, you can talk to any of us. Your first point of contact, though, will be Rick Koberstein, your coach's commissioner. But you can also hit me up or hit April up if you have any questions as we go, and I'll provide you with our information as we go on down through the night. So you may have wondered, you may have a bag or a folder. If you're a head coach, you get a drawstring backpack. This is we found it's just easy because there's a lot of stuff you accumulate. And so I started using these bags sort of as an accident, but I saw maybe another coach was doing it, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I stole that idea and am giving it to you guys so you can just throw all your Upward stuff. I like to just throw it in the car, take it in the house, throw it back in the car, and it just has all my Upward stuff in it as I go throughout the season. So you might ask, what is in the bag? Head coaches get one of these. Assistant coach, you get a folder with some information in it as well. First thing you'll notice, you have a whistle. They all work. I tested all of them earlier today, so there you go. You also have a prayer pin. This prayer pin is just a reminder to pray for your team, pray for the season. You can put it in your car. You can put it anywhere. I know a lot of people don't wear suits anymore, like a lapel pin, but if you have the opportunity to put it somewhere that will help you daily remember to pray for Upward. You also have a Dairy Queen gift card, and this is to encourage you to have a fellowship time throughout the season. You could have at the beginning of the season, the end of the season, but take your kids and either go buy some ice cream for them or take them to Dairy Queen, get an ice cream cone for them. It's a $25 gift card. Now, some guys like to say, well, I don't want to do ice cream. I want to do a pizza party. That's fine, too. If you do that, then just take the Dairy Queen card, use it for your family. It's a free gift for you. If you want to just, hey, I'm going to do a pizza party instead of that. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. But that's there to encourage you to have some fellowship time, some connection time outside of practice with your team. There's also a concession stand gift certificate. That's just a gift to you guys. We have the world famous Oak Hill Baptist Upward concession stand. Biscuits and gravy will be back again this year. So that's just $5 to say thank you. And you may say, well, $5, that doesn't go very far. It does at our concession stand. The inflation, yes, that's right. So hopefully you'll check that out, and that's just a free gift for everybody. In the folder, you have a coach's playbook, the Upward rules, and we're going to talk through some of the stuff as we go. I'm just introducing this to you. Our coach's playbook, our Upward rules, practice schedule, coach's roster, and then to be handed out at your first practice, you have a parent's roster and you have a parent's letter. So you're going to want to make sure to hold on to those to your first practice and hand those out. Now, I will send all of these to you digitally. I know some of you guys are younger than me. You're from the younger generation. You like the digital. I still like a hard copy, so I like to see it, hold it in my hand, and feel it. So that's why I give out a hard copy. But I will post digital copies of all of this if you happen to lose it or you like a digital copy better as well. Okay. Okay, folks, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming to our 2024-25 season of Upward Basketball Coaches Training. Appreciate everybody. This is our 16th year of Upward Basketball. Isn't that amazing? I'm so happy that we've been able to do this for 16 years and have this legacy, and to be able to run this program at try to do a level of excellence that helps to minister to children and to be a blessing to families as well. We have 223 basketball players signed up this year. I believe this is our highest number. It's one of them. It's, if not our highest number. We have 35 cheerleaders as well, and we have 64 coaches and assistant coaches signed up. So we have a lot of people involved in this ministry. We are so excited. I want to say thank you, first of all, to our coaches. Coaches are very important. It says here, as you coach, you play a vital role in sports ministry. Sports ministry requires that we give our best effort in teaching the sport and caring about people through ministry opportunities. This isn't just an Upward League or just a church league. This is a chance to provide the best youth sports experience in our community and demonstrate the gospel to the families we serve. We believe that. We believe that this is not just a league. This is something different. It's something special. It is a ministry that our church provides. So thank you for partnering with our church as we lead out in this ministry. I want to say a big thank you to all of you coaches, assistant coaches. It takes a lot of time and energy to expend to coach the kids, to be there for practices, to be there for games, and I know it's an investment in them as well. So I just want to say thank you. I want to take a minute to introduce you to our Upward leadership team. You might see me a lot as the face, as the league director. It's a beautiful face, I know, but there are many people behind the scenes that make all of this happen as well. And so we have April Sharp is our assistant director. If you look in the back, she's hiding in the back. Rick Koberstein is our coaches commissioner. He's also there, hiding in the back. Christy Gocher is our cheer commissioner. She's back there as well. John Couts is our referee commissioner, and he is also back there. So we have all of those core people are here tonight. Some ones that aren't here, one of them that's not here, our game day commissioner, Vern Sharp. Another game day commissioner, Kenny Gamblin, is here. Kenny, raise your hand. These are people that you can look to on game days. They're part of the leadership team. They have answers as well, and so they're going to help coordinate some of those things specifically happening on game days. Shirlene Kilgore is our concessions commissioner, and Randy Kilgore, the voice of Upward Basketball, he's our AV tech and our announcer. So we're so thankful that all of these people give extra time. They're here to help manage, and they help set up for the evaluation, help draft the teams, all of these things to make all of this happen. So if you need anything throughout the season, you can talk to any of us. Your first point of contact, though, will be Rick Koberstein, your coaches commissioner. But you can also hit me up or hit April up if you have any questions as we go, and I'll provide you with our information as we go on down through the night. So you may have wondered, you may have a bag or a folder. If you're a head coach, you get a drawstring backpack. We found it's just easy because there's a lot of stuff you accumulate, and so I started using these bags sort of as an accident. But I saw maybe another coach was doing it, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So I stole that idea and am giving it to you guys so you can just throw all your Upward stuff. I like to just throw it in the car, take it in the house, throw it back in the car, and it just has all my Upward stuff in it as I go throughout the season. So you might ask, what is in the bag? Head coaches get one of these. Assistant coach, you get a folder with some information in it as well. First thing you'll notice, you have a whistle. They all work. I tested all of them earlier today, so there you go. You also have a prayer pin. This prayer pin is just a reminder to pray for your team, pray for the season. You can put it in your car. You can put it anywhere. I know a lot of people don't wear suits anymore, like a lapel pin, but if you have the opportunity to put it somewhere that will help you daily remember to pray for Upward. You also have a Dairy Queen gift card, and this is to encourage you to have a fellowship time throughout the season. You could have at the beginning of the season, the end of the season, but take your kids and either go buy some ice cream for them or take them to Dairy Queen, get an ice cream cone for them. It's a $25 gift card. Now, some guys like to say, well, I don't want to do ice cream. I want to do a pizza party. That's fine, too. If you do that, then just take the Dairy Queen card, use it for your family. It's a free gift for you. If you want to just, hey, I'm going to do a pizza party instead of that. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. But that's there to encourage you to have some fellowship time, some connection time outside of practice with your team. There's also a concession stand gift certificate. That's just a gift to you guys. We have the world famous Oak Hill Baptist Upward concession stand. Biscuits and gravy will be back again this year. So that's just $5 to say thank you. And you may say, well, $5, that doesn't go very far. It does at our concession stand. The inflation, yes, that's right. So hopefully you'll check that out, and that's just a free gift for everybody. In the folder, you have a coach's playbook, the Upward rules, and we're going to talk through some of the stuff as we go. I'm just introducing this to you. Our coach's playbook, our Upward rules, practice schedule, coach's roster, and then to be handed out at your first practice, you have a parent's roster and you have a parent's letter. So you're going to want to make sure to hold on to those to your first practice and hand those out. Now, I will send all of these to you digitally. I know some of you guys are younger than me. You're from the younger generation. You like the digital. I still like a hard copy, so I like to see it, hold it in my hand, and feel it. So that's why I give out a hard copy, but I will post digital copies of all of this if you happen to lose it or you like a digital copy better as well. Okay. Excuse me. As we move along, let's talk about what our goal is. I have 3 goals for our Upward Basketball League. Number 1, I want to build relationships with the players and their families. We often talk about having our Upward family. Just today, I was out delivering our Operation Christmas Child boxes to CFC and saw a few different families out there that were at their homeschool co-op that had played Upward basketball. Routinely, I'll be out in a store and I'll see kids that I've either coached or played, and they're waving at me, and of course I have to explain to the parents how they know me. I don't want to be creepy, but I'm telling them, hey, are you playing Upward? Good to see you. And so this might happen to you as well, but you get this rapport with the community because of this ministry, because of what's going on here. And so it's all about building relationships for us. The second thing, it's about sharing the gospel truth with every player. Throughout the season, we'll have opportunities to share the gospel. We'll talk to you about what that looks like as well. But that's our second goal. That doesn't mean it's any less important. But we want to make sure that as we share, it's coming out of relationship. We build those relationships up, and then we're able to share the gospel with these children. And then finally, we want them to improve on their basketball and cheer skills. That's really important. We want them, and you will see this if you trust the process and you see the plan. As they go through the season, you'll see them improve. No matter where they start, if they've never picked up a basketball before, your goal may be, hey, we're going to get you to be a consistent dribbler without double dribbling. We're going to get you a basket this season. That may be your goal for that student. And you will see them do that, and they can't accomplish that in this league. That's why it's so cool. A couple of points here about why we should give our best effort. Here's the thing. It says, because the families we are serving is part of God's creation, we place a high value on people. Genesis 1:27 says, God created human beings in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. Every human has worth and value. We don't know where these children are coming from. We don't know their background. They may come from a really loving, Christian, supportive family. They may come from a family where the parents aren't raising them. It's grandparents that are raising them. We've had all kinds of families. But we want them to know that they are valued and loved in our program. We also see in Genesis 2:7, then the Lord formed the man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into man's nostrils, and the man became a living person. This tells us God had a personal touch as he created us. He loves each and every one of us, each and every one of these children, each and every one of these players. And we want to convey that as we go through the season. And secondly, because we're doing this all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. That's our focus. We want to make sure that we do this program for the glory of God. A couple of keys for coaching. 5 keys to be specific. First of all, you need to be organized to teach the sport. There is a little bit of work outside of your practice time that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to sit down and come up with a practice plan. Now, the great thing is Upward gives you all the resources that you need. There's practice plans in your book. We'll talk about the app in just a few minutes, but there's practice plans, there's skills, there's drills, there's all kinds of things. Everything is available to you to make you a successful coach, okay? But you do have to make sure and read through it. You do have to kind of plan a little bit ahead to make sure that you have a good practice plan as you go through. So be organized to teach the sport. That's going to be really, really important. Take time to teach the fundamentals of cheer or basketball as you go through. Number 2, lead the practice devotion. This is a non-negotiable. Every team needs to have a practice devotional time. I like to do mine halfway through, gives the kids a break. If you want to do it at the beginning, you want to do it at the end, I don't really care. As long as you have the practice devotion. Now, hopefully there's somebody on everybody's team I try to make sure there's at least one person on the team that's comfortable leading a devotion. Okay, so when you get out there, you can look through it. If you aren't that comfortable, you can learn through the season, but you could just read through the devotion and ask the kids the questions and get feedback. Or if you want to bring in some of your own thoughts or illustrations that are kid appropriate, feel free to do that as well. This year, we're looking at the miracles of Jesus. So I'm so excited to be seeing how the kids are going to experience what the disciple, looking through the eyes of the disciples and what they saw and how they experienced Jesus doing all these amazing miracles, and how we learn that he is the God of this universe. He is the one Messiah that came to redeem mankind. So I'm very excited about these devotions. Take time every week to build that into your practice. Excuse me, I'm fighting a little bit of a head cold. I took some medicine earlier, so hopefully it'll kick in. Number 3, communicate with the parents. This is really important. You are the conduit to the parents. Now, I'll be sending out communications about the overall Upward League, but team-specific communication has to come from you guys. Normally the head coach does it, but if one of the assistants is really good with communicating and they're really on the ball and really organized, it doesn't matter. I don't care who does it. Somebody from the team needs to be communicating, sending emails, sending texts. It's all available in the app, and we'll talk more about that in just a minute to make it super easy. But one of the best ways that I've found is to make sure every parent knows that you have a team website. This was my team website from a couple years ago. It tells you exactly the games, the practices, the contact info of the head coach, and it tells even what color, what gym, if you have kindergarten first, what side of the gym they're going to be on. Everything is on the team website. On the parents roster, it gives the individual link. It also gives a QR code they can scan. I'm also going to hopefully send those out probably the first week of practice. I'll make sure the parents have those as well. But that's very important. The team website will answer probably about at least 50, maybe 75% of parents' questions right there. But make sure you communicate with them. Number 4, instill teamwork, a competitive spirit, and a growth mindset. We got to understand that winning in Upward is not the first priority. You might be hyper competitive. You might be a sports guy or a sports girl, and I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm excited. I want a competitive team, but winning is not the most important thing. The most important thing is obviously Jesus, glorifying him. And then we want to develop teamwork, a team mindset. If you have a kid that is so good, they can just score at will. How can that kid improve? Is it good for them to go out and get 20, 30 points every night? Probably not. But they can learn the skill of facilitating an assist to other players to help them score. So everybody, whatever skill level they are, can learn and grow to be part of the team. We also want to see personal growth. It is super important to make it one of your goals that every kid has the opportunity to score a basket. It doesn't mean they will score a basket, but that they will have the opportunity to score a basket. They're able to have a shot and, at least a few times throughout the season to score a basket. There's no greater joy, especially a child who doesn't play a lot of sports, doesn't get picked for the school team or whatever. There's no greater joy in their mind, in their eyes, when they score a basket. It's amazing. It's amazing. And if the crowd knows that the kid has been trying and playing hard all season, you will hear the entire auditorium erupt because people are so excited to see that player score a basket. So, coaches, this is not about us. We got to take our ego out of it, right? It's not about winning or losing. We can't take it personally. If we lose, I know how it is. I'm competitive. We got to take our ego out of it. It's not about winning, losing. It's about playing the game for teamwork, for the glory of God, and for the kids' growth. Now, I will say we try our absolute level best to get the teams right. And I understand every season, there's a team that does really well and wins almost every game or every game. And there's a team that does really bad, that loses every game or almost every game. I have been on both of those teams. Okay, I've coached both, I've coached both of those teams in my tenure as Upward. I have gone a season where I didn't win a single game, and I've gone a season where we won every game. Both of those have their own unique challenges as we go through. And I have to learn as a coach, it's not about me. It's about these kids. It's about developing their skills and helping them. So I got to take my ego out of it. I got to take my place out of it and try to lift them up so they can play the best basketball. I was so proud of my 6th through 8th graders last year. We had not won a game through 5 weeks, I think. And then they worked really hard to game plan for that 6th game, and then we won that game. I think we won another game towards the end of the season. Might have won 2 or 3 games, I can't remember, but that was enough to put us up in the tournament to not be the lowest seed, and so that was pretty exciting for them to see. So they really fought and came together as a team. That's what Upward basketball is about. Okay, so last thing, number 5, follow the circle of affirmation. So there's also something called the circle of criticism. So it goes, the positive way is the affirmation. The negative way is the circle of criticism. So let me give you a real-world example. What happens in the circle of affirmation is a referee makes a call. Whether we agree or disagree with the referee's call, we are going to give positive response to the referee's call. That is going to encourage the parents to follow that example as well. And it gives a positive reinforcement to the game and what is happening. And the children will respond positively as well. So this can work in the negative. If we, as the coaches, we do a lot to adjust, either raise or lower the temperature of what's going on with the fans. We do a lot. We have a lot of influence on what's happening. If we go out there, the referee makes a bad call or he's missing something and you just pop off and blow him up, what do you think the parents are going to think? They're going to think, well, now I have a license to start saying what I want to say. Now, let me tell you something about our referees. Not one of them is paid. Until we get to the tournament, we don't pay any of our referees. They are volunteers just like you. They're out there because they love this ministry and they love this church and they want to referee basketball. It's not easy. It's really not. It's not an easy job. So here's the thing. We as coaches are partners with the referees. We are partners with them. We're not enemies. We are partners. If you go out there, they're not perfect either, but if you go out there and they're consistently missing a call or consistently not seeing something or seeing something too much that you think, there is an appropriate time to go talk to a referee. In between the periods or on a break, you can go to them politely and say, hey, Mr. Referee, I noticed that you weren't making this call. This kid is traveling a bunch. I noticed you weren't making that call. He will say, oh, well, this kid's having a hard time dribbling, so we're giving him a little more leeway. Or he'll say, I'm sorry, I'll do a better job of looking at that. Some kind of response like that. That's an appropriate time. If there's a consistent problem with the referee, let John know or let me know. We'll be happy to address that. But just think about them as partners, as helpers. They're on the court leading. They're the authority on the court. And so we've got to submit to that authority as the coaches. All right? And I think the fans will go along with it. We've only ever had to kick one fan out in the whole time that we've done it. And I hope that we don't have to ever do that ever again. Yeah. Thanks, Jason. But overall, we have great fans, we have great coaches, we have great referees. So I don't expect this to be a problem, but I always have to say it up front. Okay, let's talk about myupward.org. This is a web app. So it's not technically an app. You can't go to the App Store, but if you go to myupward.org on your phone and you log in, it will say, do you want to install this on your desktop? And you say yes, and then you'll have a little app on there. You click on it, and it works just like an app every time. I sent everybody a code to their email to be able to log in at 10:30 this morning. So if you haven't checked your email that you gave us when you applied, check your email. You should be able to register and get set up for the season, okay? On the web app, you'll be able to look at it and you'll see who you're coaching. You'll be able to see your team, your practice resources, communication, everything. So as you go through, your practice plans are right there on the app. It knows what age that you're coaching. It knows what division. And so you go in there, you click on the practice plan, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, all that. It's right there. It could not be simpler. You also have your devotions are right there as well. You don't have to worry about keeping up with the paper unless you just like a hard copy. It's right there on your phone. Feel free to use your phone for practice. You have all your devotions right there. It also has some extra, if there's anything in the practice plan you don't understand, it will be in the skills and drills list. And a lot of these have not only explanations, but they have videos as well. So if it's like, oh, do the Dumaflaji drill, whatever. You're like, I don't know what this drill is. Go on there, click on it, and it will show you what that drill is. And it's very helpful. So go to the skills and drills section, and that will help you as well. Ignore the rules section. We'll talk about that in a minute. You can also have email and text right from the app as well. This is super helpful because you don't have to worry about email, like putting together an email and getting everyone's email addresses. If they entered their email, and we checked with everybody, we did our level best to check with everybody when they came in to do the evaluation, then they will get your emails. They will get your text messages. And you just fill that out, boop, push send, and it goes off to them just like that. So this is great for practice reminders, game reminders, all that kind of stuff. If you don't have an invite to use that, will you please let me know, okay? The other thing, and we'll talk more about this. I just want to touch on it real quick. Rick's going to talk more about this as we go, but the substitution system is also in there when it comes to game day. So what you'll have to do is go in and rank your players before the first game. You want to make sure and do that. Go in and rank all your players because sometimes the evaluations may not get it exactly right. You may say, oh, well, my C player is actually my A player, or my B player is actually my D player because it'll rank them A, B, C, D, E, how many ever people on your team. You want to go in there and adjust that before the first game and then don't touch it the rest of the season, okay? If you adjust your roster in the season, it will mess up the substitution system. It will make it an unfair system for your team and everyone else's team. So you go in, you adjust at the beginning of the season before the first game, and then you don't touch it. Now, this really only applies to kindergarten, first, second, and third. Fourth and fifth have a free, what do you call it, Rick? Free substitution, and 6th through 8th have free substitution as well. So you get to pick your starting 5. You just have to make sure they have the right playing time, and we'll get into more of that too. Okay, right now I want to release our cheer coaches because they practice different and their games are going to look different. So Christy is going to take them to another room and talk about cheer stuff with them. So thank you, ladies, for volunteering to cheer and leading out in that ministry. All right. Yeah, give him a hand. All right. We'll make it super awkward. Here we go. Okay. I want to talk about practice real quick. Practice? You want to talk about practice? Sorry. Can't help it. I'm a Colts fan. All right. Oh, no, that was the other guy. He said, anyway. Yeah, that was Iverson. What did the Colts guy say? Playoffs. Yeah. All right, preparing for practice. One of the most important things when we talk about for practice is where do you practice? The 4th and 5th grade and 6th through 8th are going to be at our North Campus. If you don't know where that is, it's just up Oak Hill Road. It is just right past St. George, and you take a left at the First Church. There's a sign that says Oak Hill North Campus. Now, one word of information, we are going to be doing some construction up there. So if for some reason that part of the parking lot there's another entrance off of St. George, I'll let you know if we need to change entrances or anything like that, or kind of when the construction kicks off. But it should not affect the gym. We should have the gym the whole season. But all 4th and 5th and 6th through 8th are there partially to make it fair, because that gym is not the greatest gym. And so we want to try to get every team to practice on a fair kind of level playing field. Also, if you'll notice, your practice times all are partnered with another person. I believe in scrimmaging. And so you are going to have the opportunity to scrimmage the other team to get ready for the the season. So that's really important as you go. So you will see in there is a closet in the men's bathroom. It's called the men's locker room there. And you go in there, and there'll be a ball rack, that ball rack down there, and it'll say actually, this will be 2 ball racks this year, and we'll talk about why that is. But there will be a 4th and 5th ball rack, and there will be a 6th through 8th ball rack. If for some reason this is locked, there's a wooden locker out in the gym area. There's a key right there hanging up that will open that bathroom. It should not be locked, but if it is, there's a backup. You'll have jerseys. You'll have a ball pump. You'll have some cones that you can use for your practice. If for some reason there's anything missing or you can't find anything, let me know, and we'll make sure we get that for your next practice, okay? We also have the South Campus. That's right here. Kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade division. We have ball racks specifically for you guys. The goals here, the only hard part for kindergarten, 1st, is you have to actually pull your goals out. So they are heavy. There is one. I put one out in the lobby. They're having men's basketball in the gym tonight, but I put one in the lobby so you could see. Make sure you take note of the height. It's 2 holes above the sleeve. So you need 2 holes showing to make it 7.5 feet, okay? So you can look at that, and then if you want to try to move it to see how heavy it is, if you want to raise it, lower it, whatever you want to do to kind of mess with that if you're new at this, if this is your first time coaching. It is a little difficult to move. If you see somebody that's struggling, help them out. Help get the goal. If you're here first and you're here early, help get the goals out. That'd be a great help to assist the team as well. For those that are in 2nd and 3rd, you may have to adjust the goals periodically. In this closet right here, and I can walk you over there and show you when we get done. In this closet, in between this room and the sanctuary, there's a ball closet with lots of kids' balls and things like that from our daycare. In there is a manual adjuster. You just latch that thing onto a loop on the bottom of the goal, and you just crank it like that, and it will go up or down. The 2nd and 3rd grade are at 9 foot. So most of the time, until we get to the actual game, I guess they'll be at 9 foot for the most part, unless somebody adjusts them, but you can check them. And then once we get to games, you'll probably have to come in on Monday and adjust it because it'll probably get left at 10 foot. Okay. A couple more things about practice. I'm going to make sure I get all my notes here. Yeah. Yeah. About the goals? Yeah. Someone broke a light one time. I don't know. It was weird. Yeah, yes, thank you. They have to come all the way down to the 6 foot position, I believe, and to be you have to roll them in through the door frame and then pop them up, and just watch out for the sprinkler heads and the lights and things like that as you get them in and out. Okay? All right. One of the things you're going to want to think about is how you're going to teach your kids. Every group, every team is different. You're going to have different levels of experience. You're going to have different ages. It's going to be different every year. So you're going to have to figure out kind of what works. Obviously, there's skills that you want to teach them, passing, shooting, dribbling. You have to teach them the rules, especially if they're in the younger division or if they've never played. one of the things that I have found that's super helpful is trying to simulate gameplay. Now, not everybody will have a team of their same age, but the team, thankfully, I guess you could say thankfully, some of the teams are rather large this year. We maxed out our kindergarten and first and our second and third grade. So all of you have 8 on a kindergarten and first, and you have 10 on a second and third grade. Now, inevitably through the season, somebody will be sick. You won't have all 10 every week. But during practice, if you can get all 10 kids, you got 5-on-5 right there. So that helps us simulate gameplay, and that will give you some time to scrimmage as well. Okay, a couple more things. Let's talk about our ministry touch points. We talked about this before. Practice devotions are a must. You must have that. That's a huge ministry touch point. Something that Upward has added, they call it the scouting report. This is a devotion for you. Every week, as you're thinking about, preparing about, this is geared towards adults. So take time to read that, and it will help you get prepared for Upward basketball to lead those practice devotions. As well as you have your sticker stars. This year we don't have the iron-on stars. We switched to the stickers. So they get a poster in their kit that they can hang in their bedroom. And we got some mixed feedback on the iron-ons from kids. And we surveyed some of them, mainly our kids. And they liked the poster idea. And so we're going to try that. If kids don't like it, we can go back to the iron-on. But I think it's really cool because it gives them something at home they can hang up. And every week they can put their stars, practice. They can put their game stars on there and see their progress. We also have practice cards. Every week you'll have a practice card to give out. Now, some coaches like to do a little challenge. If the kids will memorize the scripture, they'll give them a candy, or they'll give them something, a prize or something, if they come back the next week with that scripture memorized. And then finally, our gospel video. There will be a point in the season that I will come and take part of your practice time. It's usually early February. We'll have a gospel presentation that we show the kids, and we'll have cards. We have them respond. It's a low-pressure situation, but we want to get kind of where they're at spiritually, and if there's any of them that are thinking about spiritual things and what it means to become a Christian, then we want to connect with them and their families as well. Okay, I want to stop talking, so I quit hacking and turn this over to Rick Koberstein, our coaches commissioner, and he's going to cover game day. He's going to cover some rules and things like that. So let's welcome Rick Koberstein. Come on up.
Okay. I guess I hit right to go forward.
What's that?
Right click. Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about game day. And one thing I will say that kind of goes along with the practice before we get into the game day part about for kindergarten through third grade. So once your players are set, so what the Upward system does is it gives them A through E. Most of them that have been in here, they understand that the best player's A, so on and so forth. But what that does is that locks it in. The only time that you can change that, and Brian, I'm pretty sure this is still the same, is game day. If you have someone that is absent, you can go in there and put the next player that would have been up, you pull them out, and so for the rest of the game that day, it'll make sure that it keeps that feature so everybody plays the same. That's the only time during a game that you should change any players. That's if they're absent. That way it keeps the playing time equal and you don't have to think about that. That allows you to just coach the way you need to coach. So that's the only time that you can adjust that. And then the next week it just falls in suit. So it puts that player back in for next week. So that's one of the nuances to that. And it is a nice feature because you are going to have some times where you have 1 or 2 or 3 players that are gone, and it kind of helps you along that way. So it tries to pair it up as close as possible. So before the game, of course, send out a reminder. Usually do this a day or 2 days ahead of time. You're going to get texts, you're going to get a call, you're going to get an email about what color jersey are they wearing this week. Even though they get sent the information, what the game day is, what team they are, they're going to ask. My daughter plays right now, and every week there's somebody that asks the same question, and it's on the app. So just send that out. put that as part of your pregame ritual for the week on the same day. Usually I say Thursday because that gives you a couple of days in advance, and they can tell Grandma and Grandpa what time and all that stuff. So have your players arrive at least 20 minutes early. 15 to 20, depends on how much. They will come here in this room. So we'll have tables set up. Come in here, get ready. At that time, about 5 minutes before game, I know I'm going ahead here, Randy or Marcus, depending on if it's the morning or the evening games or the afternoon games, they'll come in here and they'll give you your lineup for that day. What that means is what order they're going to be out. So each player gets the chance to be the first one out. So that'll rotate each week. He'll also tell you for the kindergarten through third grade, he's going to give you the color code. So you're going to have 5 players. I think it's 4 players if you're kindergarten, first grade. He'll give you the color sequence. So your best player in the order that they show up on your app, that's the color you go by based on that piece of paper that he's going to give you. So he'll give you that before we go out each week, and that will change from week to week. This one's sometimes a challenge. Make sure your team doesn't run all over the place. The kids are going to see their friends out there. They're going to want to go out and watch the game. So just do your best to make sure to kind of keep them in here. Number one, it's so that when we transition from the game to game, there's not people getting run over. Plus, we don't want to have people getting hurt either. Kids are kids. So I was one once. So I was one of those that ran around and was always in the way. So grab your shoulder straps. So they'll be back there on that counter back there. The color straps for the kindergarten through third grade that you can put on their jerseys. Before you go out for the game, before they call you out, make sure you take the water bottles out there and go ahead and put them on the bench. That way it's done. The kids aren't playing with them. They're not dropping. They're not spilling stuff. Again, Marcus and Randy will visit each team to let you know the lineup, and they verify the pronunciations. One of the things I remember growing up is my last name was always it was mispronounced all the time. As a matter of fact, my Letterman jacket, even though I hand wrote it, is stitched in incorrectly. So it happens. It happens. So that's to make sure that we get the name right and correct. Some of them like to have nicknames, which is great and fun. So Randy will take care of all that, and Marcus will do as well to get them hyped up before the game. Again, 5 minutes before each game time is when they'll come in the lineup, and then they'll be announced one by one and encourage them to get excited. Some coaches will do a little chant before they run out in the tunnel and all that. So it's a fun time for the kids and for the coaches too. So ham it up. Don't be afraid to be embarrassed. Sometimes the crazier, that's what the kids love the most. So be vulnerable is what I'm saying. It's a kids ministry. It's fun. The parents see that, grandparents see that, and it'll be a great time for everyone. So talking about the game rules, like he mentioned, don't follow the rules that are in the book. We have specifically designed rules that we've gone through that are just for our league. So you have some handouts in there for each league, whichever one you're in, and those are the rules we're going to use for this year. 6th through 8th are mostly the same as far as what you would in your middle school, high school. We follow those rules with a few nuances to make sure that each player gets to play at least one quarter each half, and same with 4th and 5th. And then, of course, the app takes care of the younger leagues. So it's to help them advance. You're going to have some that are experienced, some that are not. But like Brian said, if you have a kid that's out there that can dribble and shoot and score, challenge them to get better. If a player's that good, they can help their team be better. Maybe they're not good at making assists. Maybe that's one of the things they don't like, sharing the ball. There's always things that you can find as a coach, and sometimes you have to be creative, and that's okay. That's encouraged to do that. So, like I said, ignore the rules that are in the handbooks, but look at the rules and go through them because, as you'll see here in just a second, we have changed some of those. So some of the rule changes that we've gone through. So at the end of the year, we always do a survey. We've done this always. We survey coaches, we survey parents, we survey players, anyone's free to fill out a survey. So we take those each year and evaluate. And I always look through every year. I'll go through NYBA. I go through each category, see if they've made any rule changes, if there's anything that's changed in middle school rules as far as travels, things like that. We try to stay up to date with that, but there are some that are specific to just our league. We try to make it fair. We try to make it as fun as possible and enjoyable. So this year for kindergarten and first, we're gonna have referees for you guys. So what we've found over the years is that it's hard to coach and referee at the same time. So we want you guys to just invest in your players. That way, each team can have one coach on the floor, but the referees are going to be handling the part of getting the ball set and reset and all that stuff. One of those rules that goes along with that division and even the second and third is that errant passes are considered turnovers. So in the past, if the ball's gone, someone's dribbling, they lose the ball, and the other team gets it, you can't steal. But it's going to be kind of, with the refs calling that, it's just going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of at their discretion, because you're not supposed to guard the wrong color. But we understand at that age too that they're going to lose the ball. So instead of taking the time to stop to make a transition, just allow that to naturally happen. They're still not allowed to do fast breaks on kindergarten, first grade. So that'll we're going to see how that naturalizes and just takes care of it for that part, and hopefully speed up the play a little bit. Help and recovery defense is better defined in our second and third division. We had some things about when can you help on defense, when not to help. It was kind of a really gray area. So it kind of defines that a little more in specific as you look through those rules. A penalty would be assessed for stalling, so second through third division. So the way the rules always say is that you need to initiate within 5 seconds, always play. So, don't hold the ball. The kids are out there to play. So it's not normally a problem, but as we see things that maybe could be changed to make it better, that's what we try to do. The fourth to fifth grade division, we went down ball size to the women's basketball. This is one that I was always firm on the men's. That's just how I grew up. We didn't have different size basketballs when I was playing. So as we've come to progress, and like I said, through comments and even watching play at the different leagues, we've just went ahead and we made that change. It's not a big deal. It's basketball, So hopefully that'll encourage them a little more to be able to, if they're smaller in size, maybe get it up to the 10-foot basketball. So, and then a penalty to be assessed for foul language, name calling, or taunting in all divisions. You say, Rick, this is a Christian ministry. Exactly. It's a ministry. So we have people from all walks of lives. So there are things that get said, and we're trying to nip that in the bud to start off the year. Just be aware. I mean, it happens. You guys are out in the world. You know how the world speaks, the world talks, and it translates into kids because they're little sponges. They absorb everything. Sometimes they don't know what it means, but they heard their friends say it and they think it's cool. So I remember one year I was coaching. I think it was second and third grade, and the kids went through and they had this lingo that was a short term for good game. And we thought they were saying one of the other kids' names, he had his initials. So we stopped them and asked them what they were saying. So there's some things that kids use in their daily terminology that as an adult, an older adult, that I don't understand what it means. So sometimes they do that to mask it for that purpose. They're trying to say something bad without saying something bad. So that's just something that just to be aware of. We went ahead and put it in the rules as well. Okay, game day substitutions. I know I already said this because but it provides every player with equal opportunity for improvement. Read through those pages. Like I said, the only time that you should do a game time change is if you do have athletes that are absent. It'll it'll go through. This is kindergarten through third grade. But you also have to, fourth through eighth grade, you have to make those changes as well. Because, they're in school, germs get passed, so you're going to have some games that maybe you are short. And if that does happen, especially on Friday nights, we've always tried to work with, if there's a team that's already played, if there's players that can help out so that we can field full teams. We don't try to make it a normal occurrence, but we want to try to make it as competitive as possible. So, and we want them to all be able to play. Every player will play at least half of the game. This was a rule that's always been in there. It's just been kind of overlooked, and this is for all the age groups. And it does specify 1 quarter in the first half, 1 quarter in the second half. It hasn't necessarily been enforced because it's hard to keep track of that. I mean, there's so much all going on during the game that the refs can't keep track of that. And I know in the other leagues they say it's not the referee's jobs to keep track of that anyways. We're on an honor system, so we're just making sure that's out there. Starting lineup shifts down 1 player every game each week, allows everyone to be in the starting lineup. So what that means is for those that are using the app, kindergarten through third grade, each week it's going to adjust the best player down. So it'll slowly digress where they'll all get to be part of the starting 5 or starting 4 if they're kindergarten through first grade. But they'll all get the same playing time. As long as you follow the app, it gives them the same playing time throughout the year. I missed one of those. Second through third grade, one change we did make this year, so you still have your 3 segments. They will be 5 minutes this year instead of 6. Not a big change. Why did we change it? Because if we didn't change it with 3 games, we weren't going to get out of here till 6:30 at night. So that is for our volunteers. We have to get a chair teams in here to set out for Sunday morning. So we had to figure out where we could move some time, and a minute is not really going to cut them out because they have 6 segments. So that's why we went ahead and took that out. We were trying to fill time in. It's a great problem to have, to try to find time for as many players as we have. So, and again, underline, rank your players on the app before the first game, and do not change the order for the duration of the season. Trust the season. And that's one of the things Brian and I have talked about is, trust it. It's there. It works. They've worked hard to design it, and it kind of takes some of that human error and that thinking out of the process. So now I'm not to say that you might not have some players that I know they always say the height differential, but it's based on skill level. And there are going to be some times that you may need to, once they're out there, change the players, but don't change the app. You as coaches can get together and say, hey, I think these 2 should be matched up when they're out there. That's fine, but just don't change the app, because if you go in and change it in the app, then with the exception of if there's someone missing, it throws off the rest of the season. During halftime, lead the players to their designated halftime room. We'll have one over here, team over here, and the other one on the other side. It'll be the same every week. So, let them get their water. Then you got to go to the bathroom. Make sure you encourage them. I know that sounds crazy, but like Brian said, I've been on one of those teams where we didn't win a game. And it was the fourth practice of the season, and he goes, Coach, I thought this was supposed to be fun. I said, well, what do you guys want to do? They said, we just want to play games during practice. I said, okay. So we did that. So listen to your kids. We still worked on skills to improve basketball, but it was hard. It was tough. But sometimes when you can encourage, the kids when you're losing, that goes a long way, because that's how life is. We're not always going to win. You're not always going to be number one. But you still have to get up the next day and do what you got to do. So there's life lessons that you can still teach and they can learn. And then instruct them in a positive way on things you'd like them to improve on in the second half. Have a plan. Some plans are going to fall apart. That's the way it is at work. That's the way it is at home. So just have fun with it. There's always, what I've learned is always look for the positive in something. Even in a negative situation, there's something that positive can come from it. And help them. One of the things that's not on here for game day is, really pour into to get to know your families. Sometimes these kids, what they are faced with on a day-to-day basis in school, I've got a 4th grader and I've got a 7th grader. And there's conversations that my daughters come home and ask me about stuff that I didn't even talk about till I was in high school or even college. So kids today are faced with everything on demand. So be aware of that. There may be a kid that's acting up, and they're not a bad kid. There's just something going on. Maybe they had a bad day at school. Maybe someone poked fun at them. You just never know. So, and the positive side of that is don't try to take them aside if you have time, maybe after practice or maybe when you're, when they're on break or something. But they might not have somebody that does that. We don't know where they're coming from. We don't know how home lives are. So I would stress that it's too. After the game, lead your players to designate post-game rooms. They're going to be the same ones that you're at halftime. And then win or lose, be encouraging and celebrate the players. This ministry is about the kids. It's about the kids and their families. And it's easy as a competitive person, you have to step outside of yourself, which is not always the easiest thing to do. But humility is a great thing no matter what age you are. And make sure you include the parents in the celebration. I know a lot of times the parents want to stand out there, but invite them into the classroom. Let them be part of that celebration to see what you're as you go through those game day stars. Even though they're a sticker, make sure that you have someone. I always tried. My favorite star was all the Christ likeness, and you can always be creative with that one because, it could be anything. Help if they help somebody up off the floor. I know that's sportsmanship, but Christ talked to everybody. He didn't care who they were. He didn't care if it was male or female. He didn't care if they were a leper. So show that Christ example to these kids in the ways that they work out there on the court. There's ways that you can do that. So the last part, as far as the stars, you're going to have your effort, which is your blue. Silver is offense, red is defense. We got the sportsmanship, and we got the Christ likeness. So they're always looking forward to getting one different. So make sure you write them down. The app does. I believe the app still does. Each week, if you put in there, it will keep from week to week what star the players have already gotten, so that you can try to mix that up if it's possible. I know through 6 through 8, we had some that on Elsie's team last year, they got the same one, but the coach was very good at changing actually effort could be anything. It could be you made the effort to show up, but they did a very good job at really explaining, going into more detail why they gave them that star. Make it special for them. Of course, we got the poster this year. You can have your assistant coach or even a parent. If you got somebody that you trust to do this, if it's somebody that's been doing this for a long time, there's a lot of us out there. Ask them. As far as the parent too, one thing I will say, after your first practice, talk to your parents and find someone that will be in charge of the game day snacks. What I mean by that is you've got a lot of things going on as coach, but there's probably a parent out there that really enjoys that part of organization, that really wants to get everybody lined out so they can get the list together so that each week the kids love bringing snacks. They love to be the person that gets to bring the snacks because they get to choose what they have and what they drink. So, let them be part of that. That's the way you can get the parents involved as well. And like I said, more than likely you're going to have a parent in your group that's really what they like to do. Maybe that's their service language. Maybe that's what the gift God's given them. Let them take it and run with it. And then lastly, the stars are in your coach's box. And then, like I said, you can track them on the coach's playbook or in the web app. So that's that's pretty much it for the game day. Yes. Good point. In case you didn't hear what Kenny said, so we try to get at least 2 coaches on teams. Some we have 3. So have one of those coaches that's designated that they have the next quarter or next segment that they have the players ready. So that way you're not wasting time trying to get everybody to go. So as they're coming out and playing, that coach is there changing out bands, switching them out, saying you're this color, you're this color, you're this color, while they're getting drinks and everything else. So that has helped with the flow of the game. So, all right.
All right. Thank you, Rick. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, I will concur. You do not have a lot of time to you literally, and it will help if you have 5. Just literally put your bands on the kids before, during, have your assistant coach put the straps on the kids during that period so they're ready to go out at the time. And then I do want to reiterate, like Rick said, you can adjust the straps at the lines if you see a mismatch. Not to gain an advantage, but if you're out there and you see, well, this kid's really dominating, that's their best player, and he's not matched up with my best player that's out on the court. You're not putting a player out, but the players that are out there, you can adjust them. 4th through 8th, you're on the honor system for playing time. So please, nobody's got a clock and saying, well, this kid. Now, some people just say this group's going out for this quarter, the next quarter, this group's going out, and they do it that way. You can do it that way if you want. I like the free substitution, keep them on their toes, Okay. Couple things as we close up shop here. Want to give you some important dates. Their first practice will start the week of December 2nd, that Monday. Now, I will say, if you have Monday practice, I'm very sorry to do this to you. Monday the 9th, we have our child care. Monday the 9th at South Campus. Only South Campus, not North Campus. We have our child care Christmas program on Monday the 9th, so you are moved to Friday, December 13th for that practice, okay? That's only South Campus, Monday the 9th. First game, January 3rd or 4th, depending on what your division is. Last game, February 21st and 22nd. No snow makeups. We do not have time for snow makeups. We will do our very best to. Last year we had a great season, no games missed. I think maybe one night of practices was canceled, but other than that, it was a fantastic season. So we'll see what happens this year. We will have picture day. You'll get your uniforms, first practice to hand out. Picture day will be that week of the 9th at the North Campus, and then the week of the 16th at the South Campus. So tell your kids to come dressed in their uniform. Even if parents don't want to buy pictures, tell them to come dressed anyway, because there's a team picture, and you want everybody to be in the team picture, okay? If a kid can't be there on that practice night, tell the photographer, and she'll leave a spot. And if they can come back at another picture time, she can Photoshop them in. She's really good at that. So you can get your whole team in there that way as well. There's no practice the week of Christmas, okay? So we design it where you have 4 practices before your first game. Christmas week, we don't need. It's not included. Plus, we have stuff going on here at church. We can't practice that week. There will be practice the week of New Year's, so plan accordingly. Now, the great thing is New Year's is on Wednesday. There's no Wednesday practices, so that's fantastic. But Tuesday night, you will have, New Year's Eve, you will have practice. So even if you have the late practice, New Year's Eve's not till midnight, so you still have 4 hours when you get off. So you're good. The gospel presentation will be the first or second week of February during practice. I'll communicate that with you as we go. Sometimes we've done it in 2 separate weeks. It depends on how I want to do it. If I just want to get it all done in 1 week or have 2 different weeks. And last year I had some guys help me because it's a lot. End of season celebration for kindergarten fifth. This is something, we had a comment that somebody said we did not promote this well enough. So I have put it in all of our communications thus far. And I'm telling you to help promote this to the parents as well. Mark it down. Friday, the 28th, will be a celebration for kindergarten through 5th grade. Okay? They get to come out. We'll have inflatables in the gym. We'll have food. And then we'll come in this room, and they will get their awards based on a schedule. Okay? Cheerleaders are invited to come just to hang out. They're not getting their awards that night, but they come just hang out. And then the 6th through 8th grade tournament will be that Saturday, March 1st. Seeding will be depending upon the season, rankings and how many wins and losses you have. The cheerleaders will do a halftime rotation. So those groups will get their awards after their first game. Win or lose, they'll get their first award, or they'll get their end of the season award after their first game played that day. Okay? Those are the important dates that we have coming up. So we do need a little bit of help. If you are, I have some people in mind. If you have a early practice or a late practice, I need practice openers and closers. That means somebody that has a key. They come in, they can unlock the building, they can turn on lights. And then a closer is somebody who turns off the lights and locks up when they leave. So I have some people in mind already. I'm going to be communicating with you if you want to volunteer for that. Yes, Joe? Yeah. No, it's a totally separate key. Yeah. We do need referees as well. So if you just say, man, I love basketball, I cannot get enough basketball, I want more basketball, see John in the back. If you coach, say you coach a kindergarten first, you say, well, I'll ref a kindergarten first. We have 2 hours. He could slot you in one of the schedule for the other hour or whatever grade that you'd like to help referee with. We always need good referees. We need scoreboard and bookkeepers. So if you like to do that as well, we can put you in that spot. And then we also need concession stands workers. Even if you say, well, I have a older teenager, I have a wife, I have a husband, I have somebody that was willing to help serve in one of these capacities, we would love for them to participate. It takes all of these volunteers and everything to make it happen. Okay, here's our point of contact. There's Rick Koberstein's number and my number. You're welcome to text us. I've been emailing you, so you probably have my email as well. And I think April, this might be the first time we have all of our information already turned in. Good job, guys. Give yourselves a hand. All of our background checks, all of our applications are in. Check your email, and she wants you to check your email and phone numbers on your coach's sheet right now. Get them out. Check them. If it is wrong, I need you to go see her right after this meeting and have her change it in the system. We need correct email and phone number to contact you guys, and so your parents can contact you as well. Okay? Okay, let's open it up for questions before we close up shop and finish up the meetings. Anyone have any questions about anything we talked about? Yes. Yes. For what? Yes. So what it is there's a warning first. The ref will say, listen, there's no more of that talk. You need it. This is your first warning. On the second time that we hear bad language, we hear taunting or anything like that. Now that's when I say taunting, I'm talking about like an extreme, like I'm saying like you're a loser. You can't. It's not just like, you didn't block me. I mean, it's like a really like a taunt. The player will be assessed a personal foul, okay? Then if the ref deems that player does not react appropriately, he can sit them down for the rest of that period. Now they can come back in the next period, but they may be out for that rest of that period. And if they mess up again, then they may have to go sit down again. So we've had an instance in the last couple years where we've had at least one player that has been using bad language. They've been talking to other players inappropriately. And I've done about everything I can, talking to parents, talking to the kids. We're just going to have to assess game penalties. That's the only thing that's going to get through to them is take away their playing time and give the refs the power to do something about it. So, questions? Yeah, go ahead. Fire away. It's up to you. If you want to take it and say, I got your folder, if you want to leave it, I will contact them and have them come by and pick it up. It's totally up to you, whatever you want to do. Okay, yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-huh. Are you reading where it says the clock runs continuously with special rules in effect for fewer than 2 minutes? Okay, so what happens is to speed up the game, if it's less than 2 minutes in the game, we don't shoot free throws. Points are automatically awarded. Otherwise, if it's any other time during the game, they will shoot free throws. Yeah. Just because we could end a game because it's a running clock, so you could literally end the last 2 minutes of the game doing free throws, and that's not fair. So if they foul in the last 2 minutes, automatically they get the points. Ball is given to the other team, like it says here in the rules. Okay, what else? Okay. I'm not closing it down for questions yet, but I do want to ask, one of the things that we do well is learn from one another. Does anyone have any tips? There's some first-time coaches in here. There's some veteran coaches in here. Does anyone have any tips that helped them as they were coaching? Like, I wish somebody would have told me this. I wish Pastor Brian would have said this to me in the coaches training. This is the time. Share something that maybe you experienced that would help other coaches. There you go, John. Yeah. Yes, you only have to have one strap on the shoulder. You don't have to do double straps. One strap on the shoulder, and the other set can be used for, like you're saying, can go ahead and be putting on the other player. And make sure to get those back. For some reason, we lose straps every year. Like, I guess kids just go home with them by accident. It's not a big deal, but I buy straps every year. So help us by collecting them in your post-game meeting and putting them back on the counter there. Extra points if you actually line them up and like put them together by color. Okay, that's extra points for coaches. All right, what else? Other tips, other things you wished you would have known when you first started coaching Upward? I already gave you my tip. Do skills, do drills, but also simulate gameplay. I'm telling you, if you don't simulate gameplay, they will come into the first game and they will not know what to do, because they will not understand the rules. They will not know how to the fast pacedness of a game. They will just totally zonk out on you, because all they've done is passing drills and shooting drills. And Upward is designed, they kind of hit the middle of that, and they do a lot of drills. They're drill heavy, but I like to simulate gameplay. If you can do that, play full court, things like that. Yeah. There you go. Yes, that's good too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you may want to start one practice with offense, another practice with defense, and kind of work them in through the thing, work on an inbound play. That always gets kids every time. Not so much for kindergarten first, but the other divisions, like if they've never had an inbound play, they don't know what it is. There's simple inbound plays you can find online, whether you do like a box or whether you do a lineup or a break or something like that. You got to show them this stuff, or you'll get into the first game and they won't know what to do. Practice free throws with them. Not kindergarten first, but the other practice, have them line up, shoot free throws so they know where to line up, what to do. We always spend so much time, right, John? Our refs spend so much time lining kids up because they don't know where to go. Joe? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I 100% agree. That's why, it's why assistant coaches are so valuable in that to take a note, write something down during the game. If you're head coach, if you're coaching, sometimes you can't focus on that or remember that or don't see all the things. Your focus is on what's on the ball. Maybe something happens off the ball, and your assistant coach can pick up on it. So work together as a team. Thank you, Joe. That's really good advice. Yes, sir. Yep. That's right. And I think that makes me think of something because I loved how you and Mary Beth did that and tried to really help teach the kids. It wasn't about winning. It was about teaching them how to play basketball, and I appreciated that. Kindergarten first, the scores reset at halftime anyway. So, I mean, don't worry about the score, but focus on things like that. When we get into the first practice, I always like to have a parents' meeting. And I like to set the expectations with the parents and what this is about, because when you do things like that, you can have parents that say, well, why are you doing that? My kid's not getting the playing time. He's not getting the baskets. He's not getting the ball, stuff like that. And they can start complaining. You say, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is the thing we're trying to help everybody develop in. So if you just head it off right at the beginning and say, all right, parents, here's what Upward's about. Here's what we're about. We're going to be positive. We're going to be encouraging. If you're on the sidelines, I need encouraging, positive talk. I don't need you coaching your kids from the sidelines. I need them listening to me. You get them after the game if you want to coach them up, but during the game, they're mine. So let me talk to them. You don't talk. I mean, I just know from experience. I say this every year. It marked me. I had a dad who had a girl in tears because she kept looking over at him, and he kept coaching her from the sideline. And I was like, no, do not focus on that. You're actually doing really good when you're not listening to your dad over there on the sidelines. But have that talk up front with the parents to say, listen, help me be positive with the players when I'm trying to teach them and do things like get them to pass. Be encouraging with that. Don't come negative and say, well, my kid's not getting the ball, they're not shooting, blah, 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 things like that. Yes. Mm. Yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. That's awesome. Great. That's a great tip. Thank you. Any other tips? Any questions before we shut it down? I got one last thing I'm going to say. I know you guys are patient. You're like, shut up. Come on. Let's go. All right. Here's your next steps. All right. If you think of something, feel free. We're going to stick around for a minute. The link in your email has the My Upward. You need to go on there, accept that. I think it's good for like 48 hours. If you miss your window, let me know. I can resend it. That's super annoying. So just go ahead and accept it tonight. Okay. And get that in there, username, and you'll see your team and all that stuff. Okay. Call your parents this week. Call them. You can I always send a follow-up email or a text, but call them. Okay. Make sure you get voice, talk to them, and give them the information about the first practice. Tell them who you are, all that good stuff. And then, take your time to review the coach's playbook and become familiar with it so you're ready. So when it comes to contacting your parents, my expectation is by the end of the week, all the people will be contacted. Now, what happens inevitably every year, I promise you, every year, I'll have parents a week from today. I haven't heard anything from a coach. Am I supposed to hear something? And then another parent, I haven't heard anything. So I'll go in the system and look. Oh, it's the so-and-so team. Oh, it's the so-and-so team. Then I know that coach has not contacted their team. It'll become very apparent because parents will start contacting me. So I have an incentive. I have 3 hats here. Okay, 3 hats. John's sporting one of these lovely hats back there. He's our hat model tonight. First coach that calls all their parents and speaks to them, not calls them and leaves a message, but speaks to some parent, mom, dad, whoever, will get a hat. If you text me, I'll give you my number again. If you text me and tell me, yes, our honor system, Pastor Brian, I have called all my parents. I've spoken to all of them. The first 3 people get a hat. Okay, there's an incentive for you. My expectation is you do this by Friday, whether you get a hat or not. Please help me out in doing that. That will help us out a lot to communicate with the parents. Okay, any final questions before I pray and before we go? Thank you again. This is a ton of information. I get it. I know. But I just want to say thank you to everybody. You guys are such a blessing to have so many people invested, so many returning people, new people. I'm so thankful that all of you are giving of your time and your resources, your energy to make this Upward season happen. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If something is not going right during the season, let us know. I don't want you to continue to get frustrated. We will try to game plan as best we can. We have done our level best to make sure the teams are even as possible. If you're the team that is going to lose every game, I'm sorry up front, okay? I really apologize. I've been there before. And if you're the team that wins every game, don't gloat, okay? It's not that serious, all right? Calm down. But let's just have a great season. And please, 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 I just, if there's an issue or something comes up, one of your parents is squirrely or whatever, just let me know. I'm happy to help. I want to be your partner. I want to be your ally in whatever is happening this season. Okay, we'll be around if you got questions for us. You want to read through the rules and you got questions for me or Rick. John's back there, our referee, commissioner. He can help you with anything like that. All right, let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for this day. Such a blessing to be able to be here and talk about this ministry, Lord. We're so thankful that we get to have it. Lord, we don't take for granted that it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of volunteers, a lot of people to make this happen. And we're so blessed that we have all the people this season that you have given us to make this happen. Lord, thank you so much for this Upward ministry. Thank you for these coaches. We pray for these children, Lord, as they come to us, Lord, that we would be able to teach them and help them to grow in basketball. But most of all, Lord, that they would hear the gospel of Jesus Christ and their life would be changed by it. We thank you and we give you all the praise and glory. In your name I pray. Amen.